You've made it. I'm really glad everybody has made it here today. We've got Mark, we've got Teresa, we've got Jared, and I'm only asking Jared, how are you doing today?
I am doing amazing. So excited to be on the podcast. Super drained from doing musical rehearsals, being here, and being a new father. But I'm so excited to be chatting with you folks.
I was like, when you said you were doing amazing, I was going to say, you're lying, tell them the truth. But you went on. You did what you needed to do.
I'm exactly where I am.
Okay, so let's start with community questions today. Teresa, you've got those for us.
Okay.
Give us our first.
Okay, I found a question. Are you ready?
We are.
Brace yourselves. Is there anything that you haven't done yet that you feel compelled to achieve in the future? Explain.
Anything. Does any of us have anything at all that we haven't done yet that we feel compelled to do in the future? Anything at all.
I am satisfied with life.
Lights. Okay, who wants to go first? I'm sure we've all got like 10 things. I'm telling Teresa to go first.
Okay, so I mean, always there's a writing project in my brain, and November's coming up. November's National Novel Writing Month, where you, or not you, but people around the world will try to knock out 100,000 words in a month.
Wow.
And it's quite an undertaking. And so I've already got a couple stories rattling around my brain, trying to see if I can crank it out this year.
Any tiny storyline you can share? Or just a character or a concept?
I mean, they all kind of converge on mythology and how we interact with that, and how, like, I don't want to give too much away, because what ends up happening without a doubt is I'll start something and I'll be like, this is where it's going. And the main character goes, nope.
And runs away from you.
And so I just chase it. And I mean, you guys have that with game development. You think this is going to be one thing that happens, and you're so excited about this particular instance.
And then Mark comes and changes it.
Truth.
We're just constantly chasing. Yeah, running.
Yeah.
Okay, that's great. You think you're going to try it this November? Have you done it before?
Oh yeah, I've done it several years. So I
How
mean,
fun.
I even did it when I had a newborn. So
Wow, it is possible to be productive. Who knew?
I didn't say it was a
It wasn't
good
me.
novel.
I don't know.
It was not good, but it was done.
Jared, what's something that you still would like to do and accomplish?
Well, I would love to. So I have this desire to create enough medieval bard music that I could set the stage for every Dungeons and Dragons game that I DM, like, for the rest of my life. I want to. I have this large bard song EP album in my head.
Do
The
it.
large bard.
Do it.
Yeah, they're all rattling around in here, but there is not actively time.
Okay, I like it. The large bard series. That's what I'm going for.
Okay.
I have like 100,000 ideas that I'd like to do. The one that's probably the closest, I think I've mentioned on here before, but it always gets a little bit more structure every few months or so as I think about it, is I have hours of content of me and my grandma when she had Alzheimer's a few years before she died. And a lot of it is little Snapchat videos with filters that were just so fun. And what I've been doing, I've been kind of going through them over time. And what I'd like to do is maybe create an Instagram channel that's specifically for those videos and post them chronologically. So from a few years before she died to a few months before she died.
That's cool.
And just to be able to kind of look for myself to see the progression of the Alzheimer's. And how she reacted in video, how she engaged with me over time. Some of them are short form, just 20-second Snapchats. Some of them are like 30-minute conversations that we had. And so kind of a chronological series of that. I have pre-titled it Merrily Forgetful. I stole that from Lindy, from my sister. Her name, my grandma Mary's name, is actually Merrily, like Merrily. And she had Alzheimer's, so Merrily Forgetful. We'll see how it goes. But that's one of 100,000 ideas that I'd like to accomplish.
I've seen some of those videos, and they're hilarious. And so I would love to be able to go through that whole catalog in my own time.
One of my favorites is I ask her, how are you doing today? And she goes like this, I'm doing absolutely nothing.
Yeah, I remember that.
The best day. Truly.
Okay, Mark, are there any ideas within you still to bring to life?
The problem I have is I don't think I'm going to have enough life left to do all the things that I want to do, which is, I think, the premise of the question. On my short list, aside from Orange Nebula, products that we're developing actively, I'm trying to get time and make time and protect my time to write this book. And the book premise is just sharing my perspectives about basically all the pain and suffering I've gone through, learning things the hard way, and the myths that we tell ourselves, the myths that we believe about our creative potential. And so I've started it. I've got, I don't know how many thousand words in, but it's going to probably need 24 revisions and some editing from some smart people. And
I'd love to read a book about your pain and suffering.
Yeah, well, you've all been
Can
part
I
of it.
contribute a chapter?
Another
More
one?
than one chapter.
Yeah, that's one of them. I just feel like I have a lot to share there. And I don't know what it's going to be like when it's done, which is kind of part of the excitement, but that's one thing. And yeah, there's probably stuff that I have rolling around that I don't really want to mention yet, just because I don't know what form it's going to take eventually. But there are multiple year projects stacked up, and I look at my birth date and I think maybe I'm not going to be able to do all of them. I don't know. We'll see. Hopefully I can. I'm very motivated, and we've got the best group we've ever had here, so I'm excited about those things.
Well, I can't wait to read your novel. I can't wait to read about your pain and suffering and Large Bard series. Here we go.
We'll just have that play in the background as we.
That's right. Can we
narrate
have a
our
little bit of that
audiobook.
coming in right now? I think Justin can probably. There it is. There it is.
That Bard music.
I love it.
Yes.
Oh, I love it.
Wow. Thank you, Justin, for throwing that in. Justin actually inspired me to go down that train. There was a long time ago, I started dungeon mastering because I was very unhappy with the dungeon master that I was given to start with. And one of the very first people that I started DMing for was Justin, and Justin brought his guitar, and he would set the mood as we were playing in different situations, and it would match the vibe, and it was just so crazy and inspiring, and made me realize that people could just make music, and it wasn't this weird thing that people in these hallowed halls did that I didn't know how they did it. It was actually possible. So inspiring, man.
J-pop for the win.
J-pop.
If Lacey does a weird expression to you, we can record that.
Well, my expressions are totally normal.
I mean, I just didn't want to throw myself under the bus
We
again.
have a lot of evidence to the contrary.